kalian di desa-desa nggak pakai dolar. Dia bilang,
When a country's currency keeps losing value against other currencies, the effects don't stay in the financial markets. They spread through the entire economy and eventually affect almost everyone. A small drop in the currency's value is usually not a major problem. But if the currency keeps falling for months or years, the consequences become much more serious. Think of it like a slow leak in a boat. At first, it doesn't seem dangerous. But if the leak isn't fixed, more and more water gets in until the boat struggles to stay afloat. Here's how the process usually unfolds, chapter by chapter. The first effect is simple. Imported goods become more expensive. When a country's currency loses value, it takes more money to buy products from other countries. This includes fuel, food, medicine, electronics, machinery, and other essential goods. As a result, businesses pay more to import these products, and those higher costs are usually passed on to consumers. Prices rise, and the cost of living increases, especially in countries that depend heavily on imported fuel and food. Higher import costs don't just affect imported goods. When fuel becomes more expensive, it also costs more to transport products across the country. As a result, businesses raise prices to cover their higher costs. Workers may then ask for higher wages, which can cause businesses to raise prices again. This cycle can lead to high inflation, or, in extreme cases, hyperinflation. When prices rise faster than people's incomes, their money buys less than before. Savings also lose value over time. The hardest hit are people on fixed incomes, such as pensioners and many government workers, as well as low-income families. They spend most of their money on basic needs like food, fuel, and housing, and usually have fewer ways to protect their savings from inflation. Many governments and companies borrow money in foreign currencies, especially US dollars. When the local currency loses value, it takes more local money to repay the same loan. As a result, governments have to spend more of their budget on debt payments instead of public services. Companies with loans in US dollars also face higher repayment costs, and some may struggle to pay back their debt even if their business is still making money. A weaker currency can make people lose confidence in a country's economy. Investors may take their money out by selling local investments or moving their savings into stronger foreign currencies. When more money leaves the country, the currency can fall even further. This creates a negative cycle and makes it harder for the country to attract new investments in the future. To stop the currency from falling, a central bank can use several methods. Raise interest rates, so people are more likely to keep their money in the local currency. However, this also makes borrowing more expensive and can slow the economy. Use foreign currency reserves to buy the local currency and support its value. But these reserves are limited and can eventually run out. Limit the amount of money leaving the country through capital controls. This can reduce money flowing out, but it may also make investors less confident. None of these solutions are perfect. Each can help support the currency, but each also has costs and can slow economic growth. A weaker currency can also have one important benefit. It makes a country's products and services cheaper for foreign buyers, which can increase exports and attract more tourists. This may help reduce the country's trade deficit. However, this only works if the country makes products that people overseas want to buy. If businesses rely heavily on imported materials, the higher cost of those imports can reduce or even cancel out the benefits of a weaker currency. A weak currency makes it harder for businesses to plan for the future. Companies that import raw materials face rising and unpredictable costs. Foreign investors may also avoid investing because their profits are worth less when converted into their own currency. Over time, this can reduce investment, slow job creation, and weaken economic growth. A weak currency over a long time can make people unhappy because the cost of living keeps rising. As prices increase, many people struggle to afford everyday needs. If this is combined with unemployment or shortages of essential goods, people may lose confidence in the government, leading to protests, social unrest, and political instability. If the currency keeps falling without being controlled, it can turn into a serious currency crisis. Prices may rise very quickly, people may rush to withdraw their savings from banks, and the government may struggle to repay its debts. Countries such as Zimbabwe and Venezuela experience this. Recovering often requires major actions, such as changing the currency, receiving international financial aid, or using a foreign currency. A currency that keeps dropping is rarely just a financial statistic. It's a chain reaction. It starts with pricier imports, spreads into broader inflation, erodes savings and living standards, makes debt harder to repay, scares off investors, and forces central banks into difficult trade-offs. There can be a modest upside for exporters, but it's often outweighed by the broader damage if the decline isn't controlled. Left unaddressed long enough, a currency's steady slide can escalate into a full economic and even political crisis. The key takeaway: a little depreciation can be a normal market adjustment, but a persistent one is usually a symptom of deeper economic problems that need direct policy attention. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this. See you next time.